Competing thoughts vie for our attention all day long. Deep within the recesses of your mind, every thought emerges as a little I, engaging in an intricate dance of conflict with other thoughts. That's why some revered spiritual masters have termed this phenomenon as the legion within, or the multitude of I's within the self. Within the realm of our consciousness, thoughts spring from diverse sources. According to some spiritual traditions, these sources can be classified into 4 categories, 2 positive and 2 negative. The positive origins stem from the divine and the angelic realms, while the negative influences originate from the egoic and the satanic aspects. Our sacred mission is to awaken and nurture the divine voice within, recognizing its authenticity and follow its revelations and inspired guidance. Often, we're our own worst enemy. Our inner critic rages within us, tearing our self-esteem to shreds every chance it gets. It mocks us while inflicting us with unbearable shame and guilt. It whispers hateful things into our ears, such as we're unworthy of other people's love. It might even say, trying to find a partner is useless. You'll always be alone no matter what you do. If your mind tortures you day in and day out, you're not alone. So many people feel that their brains aren't helpful tools. Instead, they see them as negative thought-generating machines that can't be stopped, no matter what. Our minds produce a raging river of mental activity every second we're awake. Most of the time, it's all so much noise. Instead of helping us solve problems, it makes them so much worse. That's because over 90% of our thoughts are repetitive to the nth degree, endlessly echoing in the corridors of our minds. If our brains were television stations, viewers would complain. That's because the lack of variety in the programming would make it seem incredibly boring. Let's say you set 6 p.m. as your meditation time. You try to accomplish your noble goal through willpower, such as saying, "I need to buckle down and meditate." Then, out of nowhere, another thought pops into your head. "I haven't finished my work, and it needs to get done." Another mental formation quickly follows it. "I'm going to postpone the meditation because I've got to get stuff done." Then, a few minutes later, another thought bursts into your consciousness. "I'm so hungry right now, I could eat a brontosaurus. There's no way I can focus on work. I freaking need a snack." Thanks to your never-ending thoughts, you've neither meditated nor completed your tasks. You've allowed your ceaseless mental activity to jerk you around like a monkey on a chain. In the above example, there are thoughts from at least 3 origins: the angelic, the egoic, and the satanic. Yet, our failure to discern them hinders our spiritual evolution, depriving us of the transformative guidance bestowed by the divine voice. Internal dialogue like this is how most people spend their days. Contradictory thoughts fight for supremacy, causing an endless tug-of-war between one part of our psyche and the other. With negative thoughts like these filling our consciousness, there's zero chance for peace. There are more reasons to drop the negative thinking habit besides having more serenity. For example, negative thoughts contribute to a wide range of mental conditions, including depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. They can also lower sleep quality and decrease efficiency. The first category of thoughts comprises egoic thoughts. These are thoughts fueled by desires and fears of the ego. For example, worrying about what will happen if you lose your job, or becoming enraged because someone screamed at you. Another example is wondering if you'll ever find somebody to replace your broken furnace. Thoughts arising from egoic source are nagging and persistent. They seem like accurate reflections of reality, but they're things that aren't actually based in reality. The ego represents the most profound aspect demanding inner healing. Within the spiritual journey, taming the ego stands as a defining milestone, a gradual and deliberate process. As you advance on this path, you delve into the depths of your being, healing and transforming the subtler layers of the ego, paving the way for profound growth and self-awareness. It takes considerable skill to differentiate these kinds of thoughts from thoughts arising from the ego. For example, if you're shy, a thought might pop up telling you not to go to a party. It tries to convince you that you'll only feel awkward and out of place, but this is only true if you buy into it. You don't have to feel like a fish out of water if you don't want to. Instead, you can work on your social skills, which will help you develop meaningful connections with other human beings. The second category of thoughts are the Satanic Thoughts. These aren't thoughts birthed by the devil. In this context, we use the adjective metaphorically, a turning away from the light. These are thoughts trying to convince you that negative thinking is normal. Satanic thoughts manifest subtly, cloaked in trickery and deceit. This facet of lower self employs cunning reasoning, skillfully justifying the desires and fears of the ego. Satanic thoughts perpetuate the status quo. This is true even if your reality is a never-ending nightmare you can't escape no matter what. For example, a thought pops into your head that tells you that worry is healthy, that it's necessary to prevent bad things from happening. This category of thought is relatively easy to recognize and manage. A slight awareness empowers you to reason against their influence. Like a radiant light, awareness dissolves the darkness of this aspect once it manifests. The third category are the Angelic Thoughts. They push you to do what's best for your spiritual evolution. For example, the sudden desire to practice meditation, or the idea of volunteering at your local homeless shelter. They come from the part of you that is always connected to divine intelligence. In direct contrast to Satanic thoughts, Angelic thoughts also employ reasoning, but a noble and pure form that encourages virtuous acts. Generosity, kindness, courage, healing, these are the noble impulses instigated by angelic thoughts. Angelic thoughts are your greatest helpers and allies in your spiritual path, guiding you to unveil the divine voice within. As you heed their gentle whispers, you embark on a transformative journey towards profound spiritual awakening. Finally, we have the divine thoughts, which are the voice of God whispering in your ear. In other words, they're your intuition speaking to you. They could be insights into the nature of existence, or the exact information you need to make a difficult decision. Throughout history, the wisest souls to grace this earth, Buddha, Christ, Muhammad, uttered words that flowed directly from their inner divine voice. As the spiritual seeker establishes a profound connection with the divine source, they unlock the ability to recognize this sacred voice. Through this realization, they gain profound insights into philosophical concepts like emptiness, unity of existence, and the illusory nature of space and time. These revelations illuminate the path to profound spiritual understanding and wisdom. Try to focus on thoughts arising from the divine source as much as you can. That way, negativity will no longer be your default way of thinking. But by consistently doing this, you'll diminish the whispers of the ego and maximize the voice of God. The best way to hear the voice of the divine is through meditation, which is the silencing of the mind's relentless chatter. The less noisy the ego is, the more you can hear the divine. Meditation allows us to hear the voice of God by helping us to be more mindful. There's a negative correlation between persistent negative thinking and mindfulness. This means the less mindful you are, the more negative your thinking becomes. You can develop the skill of mindfulness through consistent practice, which involves cultivating a non-judgmental and non-reactive awareness of the present moment. That way, you immerse yourself in the eternal now moment instead of the past or the future. There are two primary ways to meditate: focused attention and non-directive. In focused attention, you choose a specific object such as the breath and put your attention on it. Whenever your mind wanders, bring it back to your breath. Non-directive meditation means you're aware of everything happening at this moment. Become hyper-aware of whatever shows up, including physical sensations, thoughts, and emotions. By consistently doing this, you cultivate the eternal witness, observing the entire universe without mental commentary. It's so incredibly liberating to live your life this way. Meditating makes us impervious to the tricks of the ego. That's because it allows us to find serenity in the center of our being. In this space, negative thoughts flit by without affecting us. Often, our minds are so noisy we can't hear anything but the relentless clamoring of the ego. Meditation allows us to listen to what our intuition is trying to tell us. It amplifies the still, small voice deep within. Meditation helps us perceive that the ego is an insubstantial shadow. Then we see that it's limiting our experience of the divine to a fragment of its true glory instead of serving a purpose. Once we're wise to its tricks, we can work on eliminating it. The most crucial war you'll ever fight is the one raging inside you right now. In one corner we have your ego, in the other, God reigns supreme. The good news is that you can win this fight, not through an act of will, superhuman effort, or violence, but by immersing yourself in the blissful silence of meditation. Once you do this, the chattering of the ego will fade into the background, replaced by an all-encompassing awareness of the divine presence. Unity consciousness, seeing the interconnectedness of all things, becomes your reality. Meditation is the bridge uniting you with the divine essence, where ego dissolves and oneness prevails. You'll experience a profound connection to universal consciousness in the boundless silence. Your inner wisdom becomes crystallized, like a beacon lighting your path. Your spiritual awakening has begun. Amid the eternal battle, embrace the stillness and allow the voice of your higher self to be your guiding light.